Okay. So you guys might have noticed in your character sheet a little stat called Edge. A wonderful, amazing, awesome little stat.
I didn't.
Have you found it now?
Under the attributes.
Yeah, I'm pretty edgy, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
I've got at least one of those edges.
Congratulations, Mr. Edgy Person. You are the 500 millionth person to claim that joke. Here's your nothing new yen. Congratulations.
No, I was just saying. I feel like I have a lot. I mean, I have a lot more edge than certainly Sledge over there.
Hey,
despite the one edge he has in his name.
Hey, that's the one edge. All right, back off. All right.
Sledge only has one.
Lincoln Park.
The reason Sledge only has one edge is a very one-dimensional character.
Of course.
For now.
He has a one-track mind orc. And there's nothing wrong with that being a simpleton. I mean, being simple is like for simpletons, man. But I digress. So, what can you do with this edge? Because, you know, sometimes you just need a bit of an edge in the shadows. And thankfully, some very super smart game designer quantified edge as an actual stat. And it is amazing. So, what is it? What does it do? Well, let me tell you. Edge is a refundable currency of, I guess your D&D people would call it saving throws. So, for example, that same example we did earlier, Bub, where you threw 50 dice and you only got one hit out of 50 dice. That's kind of lame, don't you think?
Yes.
So you can spend a point of edge to take the other 49 dice that weren't hits, and you can roll them all over again.
So I spend one edge and I get 49 die rerolls. That feels pretty good, man.
Oh, but wait, there's more.
All right.
I'm starting to sound like a commercial now. So.
But wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more. If you order right now. So, for the low price of free, you can also spend an edge before you do a roll. Something kind of shorthand called pre-edge versus post-edge. Pre-edge, you remove the limit. Remember those nasty limits we were talking about, how much they suck? Well, you pre-edge before that, you remove the limit, first off. Second thing is before you throw dice, you add your edge to the dice pool. So, sure, Sledge over there can only add like one measly little die, but one edgy person on our team can just add like what? Let's see, that's Gentry. You can add 5 whole dice. Isn't that great? But making it better, so much better. All 6s explode. They just keep exploding. You roll 6, you get to roll another 6. So you hit a 6, you get to keep rolling 6s. You just keep going and going and going until you run out of 6s. And then you add up all those hits, and amazing things happen.
Do love some explosions. I had a game this week where we had someone roll a 37 on a D8.
Of course. But guys...
Why would you remind me of that?
Inside jokes. So, you can spend edge on other things besides just dice. For example, say everybody does their initial rolls, and Kikka over there just really, really wanted to cast a spell at us, or cast a spell at somebody. She can spend a point of edge to jump to the top of the initiative list, so she goes first, despite whatever she rolls.
That's super cool.
Wait! There's more! There's more! I know, right? It's amazing. You can also spend a point of edge before you do your initiative roll to get 5 dice, and all those dice add up, so you can get a potential of, what's 5 times 6? Oh yeah, you get 35, is that right? 30. I'm an idiot. So, 30 whopping initiative, which is kind of a big deal in this game, and more on that later. But those are the most common ways you can use edge, just by spending a point, and these refund every time you sleep. You just go to bed for the day, and you just get it all back.
That's how you get your edge back.
Of course, you got to sleep it off.
Is that like short rest versus long rest in D&D? Is there something like I have to take a nap now, and I lay down?
You can do a short rest. Just of course, there's fatigue, but we're not dealing with fatigue today. Fatigue is another story, another day, another time.
Okay.
So, those are spending edge points. Now, say for example, who haven't I picked on yet? I haven't picked on Lima. Lima, you're officially under the radar here.
Suck it,
Lima,
nerd.
Come on,
unfortunately, a plane is flying right at you, and it just crashes right into you. You couldn't avoid it. It was like 5 miles wide.
Shit out of it and fly it in another direction.
Damn.
No. Unfortunately, you just got smashed to smithereens by this plane VTOL thing. You don't want to die, though. You desperately want to be a dwarf. That's just your calling in life. So you can permanently burn a point of edge to survive that deadly smash collision, the deadly gunshot to the head, the deadly anything. You survive the impossible. Though, not without wounds. In some cases, I've had one guy in a Shadowrun, he got his leg shut off, and he could have died from the shock and, just losing so much blood so quickly. But he burned his point of edge, and now he's got a cyber leg. It's great. So,
I see no negatives there.
That's fine.
Yeah,
I have less than 1 essence. I don't want a cyber leg. I'll be a zombie.
Oh,
look, he's got no spirit left. He's a walking, talking machine.
yeah, machine zombie. They exist.
Yeah,
Be aware of them. They're scary. So, you can also spend it to completely succeed at a task, which is equally amazing. So, like, you just burn a point of edge, and you just succeed at something you absolutely needed to do. You needed to shoot that guy, steal that thing.
Is that a permanent edge that you burn to auto-succeed?
That is different from spending. You burn it. It's gone. It's permanently gone. You can't get it back unless you dump the in-game experience into it, which, hey, perfect segue into the rewards. You guys want to know about your rewards, right? How to get cool stuff?
Reward me, daddy.
Of course, because there's no role-playing game without rewards. So, in Shadowrun, you don't have these silly experience points. You have karma.
You have silly karma instead.
You have karma. Yes. And if you're a goody two-shoes, you can earn more karma, but of course you're losing cash in the process. Or you could be an evil, heartless, meta-human being and, forgo all that nicety crap and kill everyone. Kill the civilians, like let the hostages die, whatever. But hey, you get a crap ton more money. So you get that nice, fun little trade-off between karma and the in-game currency known as new yen, because it's new and it's yen and it's the new yen, so it's new yen. Isn't that great? Super duper digital currency.
Oh boy.
But
I preferred the old yen before it was cool.
no,
I prefer
you
Bitcoin.
can't have old yen. You could find old yen in this universe. You can find old U.S. dollars, but they are worth nothing. Basically nothing. It's like Fallout.
Is
Have we got
Dragon
a bottle
President
cap?
on the new yen? He was only in office, but maybe he couldn't make a new mint
God damn it.
that fast.
Fantastic. So
My
that's what you're fighting so hard to achieve. You're living, dying, and breathing like bloody guts and gore to get to that good stuff, along with any other swag. Because at Shadowrun you can just steal guns, steal talismongers, and all sorts of stuff. Speaking of talismongers, there's no point in being a cyberpunk world with magic in it if you don't know how to sling spells, right? So, how do you throw down mana bolts with the best of them? Kikka, how do we throw down mana bolts with the best of them? Well, let me tell you before you answer my own question. To do so, pick a spell, and then you pick a force. This is how powerful the spell is. But the force is the limit in the test. So if Kikka wanted to sling a fireball, she can make it a level 1, of force 1, which makes it kind of a linky-dinky little bomb. Little tiny bomb, just like firecracker, basically. Or she could pump it up to double her magic, which... Kikka, why don't you tell us what your magic stat is?
My magic stat?
Yeah, the magic stat. It's great.
Resonance, also called.
Where is that?
Under your attributes.
Attributes, body, agility, strength, movement. My magic is 6.
Holy crap, that's actually like kind of close to her max. Actually, is her max until she becomes more amazing.
6 more than mine.
Yeah, 6 more than mine as well.
Yeah,
same.
there you go. So with this 6 magic combined and her magic spells, she can go up to 12 force, which turns that rinky-dinky little firecracker into a bomb that could probably level a 3-story building.
Don't do that. Don't do
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
You just need to
Don't
get
do
rid
that.
of the building.
Surprise,
not
the mission
that
is destroy a
big.
building. She does it,
Yeah.
we win.
What if the building's a mimic?
I've got drones for that. We don't need to
Damn.
leave
Building mimic
astral
too real.
stuff behind.
But you know something else great? In Shadowrun, we don't have mana. We don't have silly little mana bar. We don't have energy trackers. We don't have none of that nonsense. Instead, you can knock yourself out with your own spells, or kill yourself with your own spells. Why? Because when you cast a spell, you have to take something called Drain. And depending on how powerful you made the spell, the more Drain you're about to intake. And like I said, a single spell, a single mana bolt, could kill you. Dead. Super duper dead. You just like die of exhaustion as if your internals just got ripped out and just chucked across the sidewalk. That's how bad it would be. But that is essentially magic in a nutshell, apart from summoning, which we may or may not see in the play, but we'll move on from there and talk about going from spell slingers to code slingers. So, how about my man Gentry over there? Speedy, you ready for some learning?
I'm ready to hack.
Alright, well here's how you sling code like the best of them.
I was expecting you to bring in like a TI-83 calculator.
How about a TI-84
That's what he has.
How about a TI-84 plus?
Oh, that's too good.
I was gonna strap it to my arm.
You know, the thing he actually uses is a bit bigger than one of those super duper calculators, and instead, he uses something called a cyber deck, which is about as big as this 9.6 inch iPad that I have right here. Now for $300 something. I don't know how much it is right now. But yes, a cyber deck is about a tablet, basically, and this does all the wicked cool hacking things. Speedy, essentially, you use the same rolling dice pool concept like everybody else, except you're managing a couple things. For example, there's this annoying camera you really want to hack and turn off because, you know, you're a pretty boy. You don't want to let everyone have all the pretty pictures of yourself. So you don't want them like claiming your royalties that you don't earn.
Yeah, those are exclusively for my Patreon.
Exactly. So to get rid of this, the first thing you must do is you have to do marks. You have to get marks on the device. Marks is an acronym for Matrix Authentication Recognition Key. And essentially, the more marks you have, the more admin permissions you have on a given device. So you smack one mark on a thing, it gives you like standard level like basic modification stuff. It's like measly peasy. Users, essentially. You stick another mark. You get basically some moderator privileges. You get to do some cool things, manipulate stuff. Finally, third mark, you're basically an admin. You can tell that camera to like do loop-de-loops for all you care. Loop-de-loops while doing loop-de-loops on a film. It's great. So you can just weave all sorts of crazy nonsense together. And you could do this in one of two ways. You can either smash marks on something called brute force. Unfortunately, when you do that, it does let them know that you are trying to smash a mark on something. But on the bright side, they don't know where you are. And if you fail, you just take damage. But then they just kind of shrug it off and go like, that was nothing. That just a little fly. Just trying to hit this camera. Otherwise, you could be a sneaky ninja. Sneaky ninja Gentries are awesome. So how do you be a sneaky ninja? You do hack on the fly. And hack on the fly, you can sneak a mark onto something. However, if you flop that, unfortunately, the enemy team gets a mark on you. And terrible things happen. Terrible things.
I don't like terrible things.
The
Why would you
worst,
say that?
the absolute worst things. The worst of which is what happens if you go hacking too long, because nobody on this god green earth, actually this earth ain't so green anymore now that I think about it, likes hackers. That's so sad, but it's true. No one likes hackers. No one likes you. You're
I
a
like
society. I'm glad you like you, but corporations don't. Security doesn't. Some runners don't. Especially syndicates don't. They don't care about you. So, essentially, the more you hack, the more you build up this fancy number called a God score. God is an acronym for Grid Overwatch Division. And a sequence of things happens if you let it get to 40. Let's see. It starts with you getting smashed, your matrix getting digitally smashed and broken to pieces, possibly. You getting smashed outside the matrix, called dump shock, which hurts like bloody mother. And then the Grid Overwatch Division is notified exactly where you are. They know where you are, and then they're going to send a strike team to come and kill you, because you're a terrible human being.
Yeah. I'm familiar.
So-
Like squatting. Yeah.
So in other words,
hasn't changed then.
get marks, do your thing, reboot your deck as soon as you're done. Otherwise, again, say it with me, everybody. Terrible things happen to Speedy. Good job, everybody. Everybody
Yep.
deserves a gold sticker.
Terrible things happen to Speedy.
Listen, if they didn't say it, that means it's not true. It has to be a consensus. No bad things can happen to me.
All the terrible things are going to happen to you, and you don't deserve
disagree.
happiness. I'm sorry.
Wow. That would hurt. That would hurt a lot.
Super harsh.
So I feel like I don't quite have everything down just yet, but I feel like a lot of us are going to learn some of this on the fly. Let's. Are we pretty close to wrapping up the introductory phase, and how close are we to springing into action?
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up, because the only final order of business, which I'm really going to shoot through, because Lima here has played Shadowrun before, haven't you, Lima?
Yes. I don't question me about anything.
I'm going to question you all I want. So,
All right, so Lima, tell us everything about how to be a rigger.
But more of that on the next episode of Shadowrun Z.
With a tank, and he survived.
so
Which is pretty cool.
super quick with LZT is, as a rigger, he controls drones. He controls vehicles. Not just that, he becomes the vehicle. When he becomes a car, he feels the road on his tires. He feels it. He can feel the wind blowing through his grills. He can sense stuff around him with like sensors built into the thing. And if he jumps into a drone, he flies around like a free bird until somebody shoots the drone down, and he gets dump shocked and takes a lot of mad
It's
damage.
like Knight Rider. Can you be my kid? Can I ride you into combat? Hardpoint.
He can be like Knight Rider.
Can
Exactly.
you drive?
Oh, I definitely can.
Okay.
Probably can.
Sounded more like he was like Turbo Team.
Unfortunately, I'm bilingual, so whenever you get in the car and I don't want to go anywhere, I'll just start speaking Japanese and you will not understand.
Damn it! Damn it! All right. Sounds good.
But that is LZT's rigger role in a nutshell, and I know the guy's smart enough to cover the rest of that. And again, I have like totally talked your guys' ear off about the general rules and the general archetypes of what people typically play. There's way more to the game that have just barely grazed the book cover. So, including the incredible combinations of characters you can make, like magical faces, deckers that are whiz with sniper rifles, and punchy, kicky, wall flippy physical adepts.
Nice.
But and so much more, but I digress. You guys want to know the Shadowrun slang for get on with it? Slot and run. So we are gonna slot and run our way over to the main event.
No,
Slot.
Slot.
Slot and run.
That's
Yep.
that's
Yeah,
the
that's
dragon,
a-
right?
You're
That's
you're
that's
you're
the
thinking
dragon
of
force,
a.
right?
You're mixing sayings. The other one is slut it, cut it, which means to grab your girl and get out of there.
Whoa!
Oh,
There's so
Being
much to
so
learn.
forward.
but in terms of learning things, slot and run our way into Food Fight, the event of the night. So guys, you guys ready to have a food fight? Are you ready?
Hit me with
Are you
It's all
ready?
soy, right?
It's all soy. I'm
Damn
sorry,
it.
but it's just all soy. So,
Soy vey.
we are going to now proceed over
Not
to
like
the
this.
Stuffer
Not like this.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Stuffer Shack. Imagine a dark and stormy night. A cold drizzle of rain slips down your coat collar, soaking you to the skin. You're hungry, starving even. Money's tight, and even if it weren't, the number of places to get food at this pre-dawn hour are limited. There is one place that will take your hard-earned million. If it's not exactly the 4-star service and nutritious fare, it will at least fill your belly and stop the grumblies. Welcome to the Stuffer Shack, the 24-hour castle of convenience, shopping, and high-caloric, bad-for-your-arteries munchies. Bask in the scents of burnt soy calf and pungent floor cleaner. Absorb the hum of the refrigeration units and the beep of the door sensor. Ignore the wailing infant in the baby food section. Seriously, why is the brat's mom fussing about, like, over the price per ounce? Just why? One brand of baby formula is like every other brand, only the label is different. So, guys, boys, goody guys, I would love everybody, if you could please, to make your super duper first roll of Shadowrun. How do we go about doing our first super duper roll, Shadowrun? And yes, I'm going to click buttons. So guys, to do a perception test, go into your character sheets and slide on down the active skills until you see perception. And once you guys see that, you can absolutely click that button under the row column, and that will basically let you do your roll.
You said active skills?
Yes, active skills. Now, here's a fun fact. Some of you may not actually have perception, which is a funny fact, but I'm going to tell you why and what you're going to do about that.
Yeah, tell me why.
Okay. So I'll go ahead and take those in mind. So, for those of you who don't have the luxury of amazing perception, there's only one way you can go about doing perception tests or any other tests without the actual skill. It's something called defaulting. How do you default? Well, you take your attribute associated with the skill -1. In this case, you guys are taking intuition -1. Now there's a handy button inside the character sheet on the right-hand side. If you scroll down a little bit past the wounds, there's a quick roll collection. And you guys can click standard D6, including wounds. And you will need to kind of check your sheet on what your, in this case, Bub, you don't have perception, do you?
I don't.
Of course, because you're a very blind orc. So
he found some very tasty ramen with beef flavor in the section, so he's completely focused on that, I think.
yes. So Bub, if you're looking at Sledge's sheet and you see the quick roll collection,
Yes.
all right. So you can click standard D6, including wounds. Your intuition is 3, but because you're defaulting, you're going to roll 2 dice.
Okay. So standard D6, dice pool 2, submit, limit none?
Your limit is in this case, it's a mental limit for this particular test. So your mental limit is 4 in your case.
All right. There we go.
Okay. That is amazing. It's like so.
Wait! You just got 4 successes on a 2-dice roll.
That dice pool was 20.
I promise. I'm very confused. I just hit 2.
Would it 2 before the 0 that already was
Die
there?
pool. No, I. God.
Oh, you hit 20. You silly goose.
Didn't delete the 0.
Ha! I'm amazing at this game. Here we go.
Apparently.
And you still only got as good as I did.
There we go. That's more normal of an orc. Okay, so you guys noticed some fun little cursory details about the very obnoxious patrons going on. So anybody with 1 hit, at least. Look at you, Sledge. Let's see. What do you spot? Somewhere in the back, Baby Mama is up here, examining the baby food. Kind of aimlessly walking around, trying to find something and check the cans. You definitely notice her. She's a mildly attractive elf woman in her 20s. She carries her infant son, a non-stop screeching crier, on her hip, and looks as though she hasn't slept in 2 weeks. Her clothes are rumpled, and the basket over her free arm is filled with various items. And again, she's just aimlessly wandering the shelves, trying to find that dadgum baby food, the cheap kind that she bought last week. Everybody with 2 hits and above. You guys notice a scruffy-looking human store clerk right over here. He's bouncing on a stool behind the checkout counter. His name tag says, "Welcome to Stuffer Shack. My name is Vern."
God love Vern.
Vern. He appears underage, undereducated, and completely uninterested in doing anything but collecting a paycheck as he stares blankly at a holozine. A homely, pudgy female dwarf hangs off the side of the counter, yapping about a new hair removal cream. She talks about an upcoming troll thrash concert she wants Vern to take her to which Vern absently replies, "Yeah, sure, Veronica." Show nameplate. Everybody with 3 hits and above. You notice a mousy human technophile, dripping with cheap gadgets, hovering around the ice cream freezer over yonder. The door is wide open, and this man grabs containers and puts them back in an apparently random frenzy. these players who rolled so dadgum good. You notice that is some of his actions in the reflective door that he's opening. And you notice that he's checking to see if he's being watched, and he's peeling off the container lids, dipping his finger into the ice cream, and he's tasting it before putting the ice cream back.
Gross.
What a weird guy.
I don't want ice cream anymore.
I pull out my shotgun.
He's the worst kind of person.
This is the face, ladies and gentlemen. Our face for the corporate world.
And then to our legendary LimaZuluTango. LimaZuluTango. You know, it's a couple of things. You know, a couple of fun things. Over on aisle 6. Actually, it's aisle 7. These two yoinkies over here. Two rocker royalty wannabes are making out against the cat food display. Given the amount of paint and accessories they wear, it's nearly impossible to tell if they are elf or human. The man dressed in skin-tight white leather pants, a sleeveless white leather shirt, and a white fringed leather vest. He also has several kilograms of faux gold, TM, jewelry hanging around his neck. The woman is wearing a skin-tight black leather jumpsuit featuring about 42 working zippers and nearly 8 meters of mesh chain wrapped around her body. Let's see. You also notice that she seems to be slipping cans of cat food into her jacket. The laser sights of a dwarf, might I mention.
4 out of 5 possible.
Absolutely. So, guys, if I may draw your attention up over here, here's your characters. Ain't that amazing? You have characters. It's so cool. So, guys, you're all going to shop for some food that you want because, you know, you're very hungry. You just came back from a run, and it's just like a lousy night. So, I'm going to give you guys here just a moment. Just a moment. I'm going to reveal things. Hua.
Should we drag our tokens over to the entrance of the Stuffer Shack?
You may. In fact, I will do that for you, and then you guys can decide where you want to go.
I know where I want to go.
I was just about to ask where the video cameras were.
I don't want to police these children. Please, Speedy. Do I have to remind you every time we go into to go shopping for, like, our soy products not to hack the cameras?
I wasn't going to hack the cameras. Who said I was going to hack the cameras?
Okay, so before you guys hear it just a second, here is your lovely key of things.
All text.
All text of all the amazing things you can go and see.
Oh my god.
Holy wall.